Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 14th of October episode of the BB&B live stream where we got babies, we got blades, and we will, in fact, maybe talk about something bushcraft related. Tonight's subject is your preferred vacations. Now, for me, I'm going to be all up in that bushcraft, but for some of you, maybe not. Maybe your preferred vacation is a cruise. Or maybe you would like to see Paris. Paris is very nice. Maybe you would like to go to a beach vacation, sun, sand, all that stuff. Or maybe you're a history buff. You'd like to see the Plains of Abraham in Quebec City, where Canada happened, or uh, Gettysburg, or, Waterloo. Vimy Ridge is a big one for Canadians. A lot of people feel that that is where Canada came of age. I'm not entirely comfortable with our coming of age story being written in the blood of tens of thousands of Germans, but what else? Maybe you just want to go camping. Tea's a good drink. Before we go any further, I would like to do the housekeeping. That's the part where I say if you're watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or whenever, thank you. Thank you for spending your time with me after the fact. Thank you for dropping little comments down below the doobly-doo, even though you cannot comment there live. Makes me feel great about myself to know that you're out there watching this stuff. If at any point tonight you love what's happening, I invite you to celebrate that by dropping me a smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you kind of hate what's going on, that's all right. You can mark it with a frowny thumb. That works just as well. And if you would like to take a more active role in keeping the light on around here, as several in the side chat already have, then I invite you to click the join button, right click the join button, open it in another tab so you do not miss any of the cool conversations going on in that side chat. And there you can see the 2 tiers of membership that are open to you for your hard-earned money, as well as what each tier gets you. This week we did an impromptu members-only live stream in which I absolutely forgot to tell all my Kanakistani friends to have a happy Thanksgiving. Oh, well, after the fact, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We pulled a Thanksgiving supper together kind of last minute because we only really decided on Saturday that we were going to do it. Went well. Lots of foodstuffs. I made 2 apple crisps. I'm very good at that. And that's that. So without much further ado, before we get on to tonight's conversation, I would like to see who's hanging with us all. Who's kicking back? Who's still, suffering in a turkey coma? Peanut Trucker was number 1. Nice to see. And he's saying hi. Canadian popped in right after him with a whole bunch of hi, I'm cool, I'm dropping a thumbs up, I like knives and axes and tents and other bushcrafty things. I can understand that. Then we had Marcus popping in. Nice to see you, Marcus. Although he was saying hi to Peanut Trucker and not me. I don't know what's up with that. What is with you people saying hi to everyone except me? I'm here. I'm in the room. Feeling ignored, feeling hurt, feeling bruised, battered, damaged even. Damaged. But I do heal fast. Destiny likes to say hi to me every single time. You know why? Because she's a good person. She's giving. She has a good heart. And because I bitched about it a lot. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I would like to point out that Mr. Peanut Trucker is a channel mod, so be nice or get the road hammer dropped upon you. Canadian is a buddy, a pal, and someone who I should probably go and visit for a camp at one of these days. I mean, he's so close, and he's got land and a guitar. Marcus is a channel hero. tea is a good drink. I might be a little zoomed in here tonight. Hold on, let me just. I don't know. I guess I'm okay with it. I think it's all right. Does this look too zoomed in? Because hold on. Nope. Like just a little bit. I believe I like that better. Whoa, you guys are getting ads already? What the hell, Holmes? What's up with that? Oh yeah, and Marcus is saying what we should all be saying. Happy anniversary to him and his lovely missus. Whoop, I took that off really fast. They're at 30 what? Wait, how many years are you guys? I believe you were together 2 years before you were married, right? I don't remember because I never remember. Sorry, guys. But yes, it's a good long anniversary for those two. So everybody join me and Marcus in saying happy anniversary to Mr. Peanut Trucker and the missus. There's Mr. Mark Davidson. How you doing? Mark popped in out. Hold on, let me check. He popped in at 8:53 p.m. I'm not really going to start an ASMR channel. I would not be able to do it with a straight face. Some people are very good at it. Okay, but here's the thing about ASMR. Like there are some who I listen to who like have these little spaghetti strap tank tops on and like showing off their cleavage and everything. And I'm like, okay, but it's wasted on me because if it's a night where I need one of your little videos, which is not every night, I'm closing my eyes. So you do you, but I'm not seeing it. And I'm getting a feeling that a lot of people who watch AMSR videos, like on the regular, probably do it with their eyes closed. Well, actually, maybe they don't. Stop. I don't know where that came, and I gotta talk about it. It's like something pops in my head, and I just gotta let it go. You should see the amount of trouble I get into over shit like that. Shoot, like that. Oh my land. I'm really scattered tonight. Just give me a second to drink a little water. Destiny, who was it who said that my stream of consciousness needed a beaver dam? What, your stream of consciousness could use a who was it who said that? And what's the actual quote? Because I'm sure that went into the book. I did not realize that you had literally created a document, Destiny. I thought you might have scribbled a few things down. I had no idea the work you put into that. Okay, stream of consciousness focused. Everyone's just saying hi to each other. I believe I saw Scott. Hold on. There he is. There's Mr. Scott saying hi to all. How you doing, Mr. Peanut Country Boy? Canadian just ordered 2 kids' air mattresses because your daughter asked to set up a camp out for the grandsons. Nice. I also have 2 kids' air mattresses for my Squeak and my Squirt. Friday night might be tent night. I support that. It's getting chilly out there, but I support a little chilly camping. Do you like it? I mean, I don't like to freeze, but I like waking up and not sweating and being devoured by mosquitoes or black flies or whatever other stuff is out there. Country Boy says, if I start getting grumpy, someone slap me. I just got home. My 45-minute commute took 2. Oh, I've lived that life a lot. And I hate it, and it makes me grumpy for sure. I'm just sort of rolling, because everyone's just sort of saying hi. Canadian says there's 400 acres on the other side of my back fence, back fence, and more wildlife comes into my yard than most people's bush. Um, I'm not entirely sure what 400 acres equals in hectares, but that does sound quite large because I believe that does sound large. Dang raccoons hit the bird feeder. Squirrels, rabbits, birds. So I use that Squirrel Buster bird seed, and they leave it alone. It sure does cost, though. It sure does cost. I'm just sort of taking a look at the YouTube side of things just to make sure I didn't forget to mention that anyone is a channel hero or nothing like that. Just checking. Ba ba bum 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 bum. Sorry, that was obnoxious. Sorry. Mark's got a skunk in the backyard. I chased a skunk out of my yard once, very carefully, giving it wide berth, and sort of shoo, shoo. I mean, it sort of looked at me and waddled off. There's Charles and Annie. How you doing? How's the weather down there? Chris also has Florida land management behind us with all types of wildlife. Yeah, that's cool when you're like stuck right up against crown land like that. I love it. I wish I could find a little chunk of land that I could afford that's just plastered onto the back end of some crown land. Because I would take a small chunk of land if it's up against endless hectares of crown land for sure. I mean, I'm saying that like I'm in any position to buy anything though, right? Canadians, yes, and not to mention the coyotes. Yeah, we have some coyotes around where I work in the where I work here in Montreal. Now we have the eastern coyotes, so they're big honking. The coy wolf. That isn't that the name they're using for them, because they're like a crossbreeding. They're big, costaud as we say in French, like big, boom, boom, boom. Like I mean, I've seen coyotes out in BC and Alberta and places like that, and they're nowhere near as, like the coyotes here, because they're these sort of big bruisers. They kind of look like bikers, like Hell's Angels, compared to the other ones that kind of look more like dogs. This doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Like they're sort of big bruisers in comparison. David Evans popping in. How you doing, Mr. David Evans? Mr. David Evans, who is not only a channel hero, but he's also a channel mod. So be nice. Be nice. Am I late? Oh yeah, I am. 14 minutes late. It's okay. Canadian already got an ad. That's he. And what Peanut Trucker says here is true. Do not forget the thumbs up because the hammer may be watching. The hammer may be watching. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's watching you. Hey, look at there's Destiny. All the good people here ready to go. She's saying hi to everybody. Why does that keep happening? Stop with that song. Stop with that song. Is Christy here yet? Because I mean, I'm a little late, so I don't know if Christy's here yet. Is she gonna be here tonight? Yeah, they're back from their vacation, right? Everyone's saying hi, so I'm skipping right on past. Destiny's popping right in on the. So yeah, let's give it a start. Destiny's favorite vacay is the Great Lakes via cruise and Vermont, Maine. Talk about beautiful parts of the USA. Yes, I would like Vermont to be a province because I love it there. and I do not want to cross a border to get to it. Because border crossing is always a drag, no matter what country you're crossing into. But yeah, Vermont, Maine, very nice. I would like to go through Maine and check it out. Maybe do some like antique shopping or whatever. Because I don't know if I've actually ever been to Maine. I'm unsure about that, but I do love Vermont. So nice. So it's such a crazy nice little state. Yeah, the Great Lakes I could do. I could maybe do a cruise, but I wouldn't. I'd love to go canoeing, but not on the Great Lakes. You know what I'm saying? Finally, my hello. I was waiting, bated breath. This news also, excuse me, Mr. Trucker is pointing out the keeper of the birthdays. Is there one coming up? Marcus is asking if David Evans had a get together for Thanksgiving. We didn't really have a get together. We had my mom over. We made a turkey. I mean, we were so late on it that the only turkeys we could find were these big honking things at like $45 a go. You know, so we got a lot of turkey up there. Like I'm not one of these guys who can eat turkey for the next 20 days without being like, you know what? I'm done. Like I've got like 2 or 3 post Thanksgiving or post Christmas turkey meals in my book of possibilities before I'm like, I'm done. Forgot to make a soup out of the bones this time. I'm realizing now. I think they just went into the compost. Makes me sad. David, just him and Pam, no get together. Next birthday, Quaff Destiny, is November 10th. Peanut Trucker's mom, and of course the November 12th German Scorpio. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you don't know. Marcus just had the 2 dinners. Luckily, they didn't have to host. It's good when you don't have to host. Canadian. We didn't have turkeys and no turkey farts either. I did not even know that was a thing. Country boy. Oh, hey there, Jess. Are they? I guess because they have to fly them in. I guess. I mean, they were expensive here too this year. Like I shift you not. I think we had a 6 kilo or something for. No. I'm just pulling numbers out of the ether. I don't know how big it was, but it was expensive. Susie Q in the house. How are you doing, Susie? Destiny says Via Rail is 30% off the Quebec Windsor corridor, I believe. Huh. That's interesting. I do like taking the train. I do like taking the train. I like it way better than flying. I really do not like flying. I mean, I'm not afraid of flying. I don't like being stuck in a tube for 4 hours at a time. And you're not treated well anymore. Like when you fly somewhere, you're not. You know, taking the train is a much less stressful experience. Via Rail is never on time, but you don't have to be there 2 or 3 hours beforehand. You know, you don't have to worry about I much prefer the train. And I took that Quebec Windsor corridor when I went to see Russell. It was not 30% off though. That would have been sweet. Oh, are you kidding me, David? Says unto Marcus, the guy I sold the snowblower to gave me 2 Coleman lanterns, 236 and 221. Damn, you guys get all the luck. That was it. 30 years together, 28 married. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to remember. I saw it on the Book of Faces, and I just could not remember the actual numbers, but I knew that one was 30 odd. Marcus, did you even light any lanterns this year? Hey, the year's not over yet, Holmes. There's all kinds of time for him to lose all this power. 2 so far this year. I don't know if yes, I did light my lanterns, but like once or twice only. I got to get on that. Grace popping in. How you doing, Grace? How's the weather? How's everything? How's everyone in your family? Canadian has been enjoying relaxing fire outside with relaxing piano on YouTube. Puts me right to sleep. Everything puts me to sleep right now, dude. I'm just looking at how you wrote this. Do you mean the videos are of a relaxing fire with piano? I'm getting the feeling that's what you're saying, because the mental image here isn't working. Oh, yes, just type in relaxing piano by a fire and enjoy. You're welcome. Good to know. I think Destiny's saying that it was Country Boy who said your stream of consciousness needs a beaver dam. Sounds like a Country Boy thing to say. Yeah. Hi, Russell. Yep. Thanksgiving was good here, especially because we weren't really going to do it until Saturday. We were like, yeah, let's do it. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. It was nice. Had my mom over. A little wine, little turkey, some stuffing, cranberries, pumpkin pie, my epic apple crumbles. I'm just trying to find where I was. I just sort of everything mulched. Destiny's Cornish hens again, Russell. We did Cornish hens during for Thanksgiving one year. Beto in the house. How you doing, Beto? How's the weather? How's everything? Oh no, Marcus. Our dogs caught a skunk last week. Quattro had it in her mouth by the scruff of its neck. She didn't get sprayed until she dropped it. Love it. Destiny is saying happy belated Thanksgiving to Beto, but I don't know if they celebrate Thanksgiving at all down there. I don't know if it's like outside of Canada and the US, and even then, obviously not the same holiday. I'm just scrolling, trying to find where I was. Destiny says, unto Marcus, Quattro reminds me a lot of Russ's Willow. Poor thing. So enough of that. Hope the smell goes away soon. I do as well. I don't know how you really get that smell out. Like you use tomato juice, but I don't know if that actually works. Everyone's saying hi. Holy crap. Country Boy just upgraded his membership. Thank you kindly, mister, for doing that. Country Boy, did I show you pictures of this whiskey? You're going to have to focus. Thank you. So this is a bourbon analog from here in Quebec. I did a video on it recently for my whiskey channel. 75% corn, 15%. I keep forgetting what that is in English. Rye, Segler's rye, and then 10% barley. It's got a mash bill, and it's got sort of that peanutty thing that that you get from a really nice bourbon. It's got that. This cork is impossible to get out. It's got like sort of the spiciness and the oakiness from virgin oak, but if this is in, it doesn't say on here, but it is done in virgin oak. Ow, what the hell? Yeah, it's very, very, yeah, it's got a bit of an E.H. Taylor thing happening on the nose, a little bit of a Woodford thing going on. So, yeah. I am unsure if the mail is actually running yet or not, because apparently the apparently the strike is over, but there ain't no mail in my box. There's Christy. How you doing? Christy popping in at the hour of 9:16. Oh, land! I'm still 10 minutes late. Okay, let me scroll a bit. I'm gonna scroll past all the highs and the lows. What? Russell celebrates 43 months of membership, longest member in the doghouse. 43 months, really? Have I even had memberships for that long? I didn't even know that. Marcus celebrates 16 months of membership, not the longest member in the doghouse. Marcus. Oh, for David Evans, his next vacation, they're going to do the Canadian from Toronto to Vancouver during winter. That sounds fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I would do that for sure. Is it expensive? And what is it? 4 days, 3 days, 4 days? Because when we used to take the train from Montreal to Vancouver, back when you could still do that, it was a 5-day trip, if I remember correctly. Destiny says to get the berths. I would probably do that too. Look, if I'm taking today, if I was taking the train, like long haul to Vancouver, I'd want to treat myself for sure. I'd want to do it like super comfort. Absolutely. Absolutely. Spend extra. I mean, I don't know how much that extra is though. David says they're going to do Prestige. Is that I'm not looking this up right now. I'm in the middle of a live stream. I'm going to concentrate on the stream. I just lost the screen with the stream. There it is. Raspberry. Yes, they did do the Cornish hen thing again. Solid choice. This camera is pointed way too high. I'm not fixing it now, but I'll fix it for next time. Excuse me. Peanut Trucker used to do cruises every year until COVID. Now we just go to Savannah a couple of times a year, but that may change since Jennifer works for the airline. We can fly for cheap. Yep. My fiddler used to work for an airline. That's how he could afford to fly here. Used to be once a month for a weekend of gigs. Now it's every couple of months because, you know, wife and kids and work has him traveling all the time. I know, Marcus, you didn't say good night, good evening to me at all. I was sitting here feeling depressed, hurt. Destiny would love to travel the Hamptons, but I think Martha's security would get rid of us riffraff. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. My problem with places like the Hamptons is, you know, it smells of bouginess. Peanut Trucker would like to take the train from Chicago to LA up to Washington and back to Chicago. That sounds like a nice route. Sounds like a really nice route. Yeah, that would be cool. Is there an actual trip that does that, or would you have to just buy a ticket from here to there, and then from there to there, and then from there back to there? Charles and Annie have survived 2 earthquakes in the past week and a half. That's a lot of earthquakes for a week and a half. And Destiny saying, did your home have any damage? Boy, right after building it, that would suck. That would be spectacular. But you guys build with earthquakes and oil down there? Uh, Mostly belongings. Sorry about that. Must have been a long commute that day. Oh, the comment about the stream of consciousness. Okay, I had to connect the dots for a second. I was like buffering. I was like, Destiny says that Sean Alaska's shed is coming along nicely. He's got some ingenious ways of getting it put together. Yes, I saw that. Yeah. And didn't my self-reliance sprain himself while building his latest building? Or break an ankle or some damn thing? Shawnee in the house. How are you doing, Shawnee? So this on Saturday, I winterized the front lawn, cut everything back down to the ground level. Some of my tools have gotten completely bent to unusability. So I had this little tiny secateur, whatever that's called in English, like little garden shears. No, not shears, because those are the big scissors things. Clips, snips, clips. In British English, it's called a secateur. You know, little hook-shaped blade, then a little blade shaped like this, and you use them to clip like the stems of plants, whatever the hell they're called. Little tiny guys. So I was down there. It took me like 3 hours, and everything hurts now. Every damn thing. All right, Shawnee's at 1,000 subs. Nice. I like that. Charles said that so much glass and bottles were broken inside the house. I can well imagine. I mean, okay. The earthquakes we get here are not big. Like, I have slept through every single one except one when I was about 15. We were up in the Laurentians. We were in the Appalachians. And we were in one of the local little mountain chains at my grandma's country house. And the earth just rumbled a little bit. It was short. We got completely spooked, and we just came running around the house. My grandma was sitting in the front lawn, and she heard the rumble, but she thought that we were like pounding on the oil, like the household heating oil drum or whatever. She's like, "God damn it, kids, what are you doing?" She just got me running around. What's going on? I was like, it was an earthquake. She said, "Oh, I thought you were beating on the oil tank." Shawnee says, "Unto David, oh huzzah! Thank you so much." It is. Oh yeah, that's for the 1,000 subs. Yeah, that's a nice milestone to hit for sure. Did you take shelter elsewhere during the storm, during the earthquakes? I don't know if they would have even had time. Oh, Beto says that there they celebrate Thanksgiving on November 25th. I didn't even know they had Thanksgiving. Country, watch the video. It sounds nice. It's very nice. Yeah, it's really, really nice. And it's like a 40%. Or no, it's not. What is it? 43. It's a 43. So it doesn't beat you over the head. I mean, look, you know me. I like 45 and above. I'm happy to set 50-ish and a little above. But yeah, it's a very pleasant drink. Excuse me. Stop yawning. Oh my snap! There's Dr. Sharp. It has been a minute, Mister. How are you doing? What we're talking about tonight, Dr. Sharp, is like, what's your preferred vacation, or is there a vacation that you really want to take someday? We've had a couple of comments. Destiny would like to, Destiny likes the idea of doing like a little cruise on the Great Lakes. Uh, Sort of maybe a little drive through Maine and Vermont. I love Vermont, so yeah, I would do that. A couple of people like to take a cruise. So, I mean, that's sort of what the conversation is supposed to be about. That's what he's talking about. Christy's asking Country Boy what video. He's talking about my latest whiskey video. If I had the YouTube's open to my other account, I would drop it in the side chat so that you guys could know what this Quebec bourbon analog tastes like. But I can't be arsed. Not while I'm supposed to be entertaining y'all. Ooh, I should have gotten a haircut before. The hell did that come from? But yeah, that feels a little too much like Velcro. Wow. That stream of consciousness is real, man. Charles says, my wife and youngest daughter have been sleeping outside in a tent. I'm staying with the puppies inside. But when you guys built, like, do you build with earthquakes in mind down there? So at work, in my department or whatever, there's a Cuban woman who, I mean, obviously lives here now, but excuse me, but like, she goes home a lot. And one thing that she said struck her about North America is that all these houses on the coast or on beaches, like waterfront property, like all these houses are built like normal houses. And she said, man, at home, beachfront houses are built out of concrete because we never know when a tsunami is going to come pound everything to bits. And so they no longer build wooden houses near the water. They're concrete houses with like wave breaking concepts in them so that if a tsunami comes and just knocks the crap out of everything, at least the houses, like, you may lose a roof, but the house won't be washed away. So you will still have a house. You may have to work on it, but you still have the house. And so is there any analog to that for like earthquakes or anything like that? Because I believe that you guys built your house out of, was it cement or was it stone? Or was it concrete? I'm sorry for the yawning, guys. It's just so rough these days. David says the postal strike is not over. They're doing rotating strikes in different locations. Oh, that's it. Okay, because I got some stuff to send out. Destiny says Thanksgiving memo for next year. I'm guessing to herself. Drop the tofurkey. Smells of toe jam and regret and tastes like cardboard. Okay, good to know. I will not try that then. Charles says we need to lock the cabinet doors in the kitchen and restrooms. Also, I need to install our solar power system. Yeah, get on that. That'll be good to have rolling, man. Christy says they got 4 inches of rain in 2 days. In surprise, 2 on Saturday night and 2 on Sunday night. That seems like a lot of rain. I mean, I know that you're kind of going into the rainy season, but that seems like a lot of rain. Just sort of scrolling down. me rolling. Ba-bam-bam. Peanut Trucker says that Amtrak does the routes Chicago to Los Angeles, and then a ticket to Washington, and then a ticket back to Chicago. Okay, so let's, because that's an interesting vacation idea, and I really like that. Say you've bought those tickets, okay? You two are off. You're gonna take this trip. So you've left Chicago. You've been. I hate how often I'm yawning tonight. Sorry. You left Chicago. You've gone across the country that you need to go across, and you're arriving in LA. Are you spending a few days in each city, or are you just taking the train, changing trains, and going? Like layover of 2 hours kind of thing. Like, are there things you want to see in each city? I haven't been to LA in years. Absolutely years. Steve Ground's in the house. How you doing? Raspberry says, "Oh no, you did not just say Seminole." That took me a minute. That took me a minute. I took my damn shoes off. Gotta take off them shoes. I'm getting comfy here, people. I may change my seating position, as I do fairly often. Here we go. There we go. That's better. Getting all nice and comfy. David's like, I did say Seminole. It's a different kind of Seminole than I always mention, though. It's only two drinkers use that word, and I know that isn't you. Steve is in the hospital, bored AF. I did not realize you were in the hospital. How are you doing? As Destiny also asked, what's going down? And then Russell said, why the hospital? And Russell's the one who burnt his foot. So what the hell are you doing in the hospital? And Russell also agrees that hospital time is boring time. Russell says, if Steve lost another toe, I'm going to start questioning whether he's still a human. You know, my uncle, who I never want to talk about, but he lost a few toes due to diabetes. Dr. Sharp. I don't know what they're called. You know what? I'm going to look for a picture of it. I know that in British English, I completely blew the spelling on that. Shears. Printing things. Printing. Hold on. Which is a type of scissors for use with plants. I shall now share the screen. Share the screen. Jesse, share it. I hate how many buttons I have to click to show anything on stream when I'm sharing. These guys, these things, like this, except that mine are super small. They're about half the size of these. In fact, maybe Do they still have them? Oh my land, the catalog is back? I spent many hours looking through that catalog when it was still being put out every season. Whew. Wait, what did I say it was called? Pruning what? Pruning clippers? Pruning shears? Is that what it is? No? Oh, and I guess they don't sell it anymore. Oh, well. So, oh, well, it's tiny, tiny. Very small. Not great for, excuse me, not great for not having a sore back. So Christy says he is in the hospital because his sodium was dangerously low, seizure levels, oxygen was in the 70s. They're doing all kinds of testing, MRIs and CTs, and they say he has AFib. Wow, Steve, okay. It's funny that your sodium was dangerously low because I'm not supposed to have any sodium at all. And I will tell you something, that is a tall freaking order in the world in which we live. Charles and Annie preferred vacation, someplace cold and snow. I like that. I like that. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. You otherwise can't deny. When a girl walks in with an Asian waist around thing in your face, you get sprung. What about you to fix her? That butt was stuffed. Keep the jeans she's wearing. I hope I can't stop staring. So, baby, I want to get with you and take your picture. It's awful how, if a song pops into my head, I have no freaking choice. And a song pops into my head all the time. Every time somebody says something, it's like, I say everybody, and then, oh God, everybody. Yeah. Everybody. But yes, I like someplace cold and snow as well. I'm not a big downhill skier. I don't like it. I tried it a few times and I was like, nope. I was better at snowboarding, but I'm really claustrophobic, and so clipping my feet to the board and I couldn't move them drove me bonkers. I love my snowshoes, and when I was much younger, I used to do a lot of cross country skiing, and I still love that. More tests they do, the more they find stuff. That sucks. And you live in the States, so that must be getting expensive. Oh yeah, man. The vacation we're gonna take is flying to Japan just to eat the fresh food. There's a bar in Tokyo in Shinjuku, he said, and then questioned himself immediately. It's called Ben Fiddick, one of the world's most famous bartenders. I'm dying to order a cocktail in there one night. Yeah, I echo Russell on this one. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good, Steve. It doesn't. So keep us appraised of the situation. David says that he and Pam have a vacation bucket list. You're slowly ticking them off. Anything on there that I would love to do? I mean, I'm not going to invite myself on your vacation. I just mean, do you have anything that I would be like, yeah, that sounds terrific? Russell does know exactly how frustrating AFib can be. Yes, we know that. That's for sure. What's with everybody's health these days? It's 21:51. Unlike lots of bourbons, this is 3 years old. Because that's one thing where the rules of bourbon, unless it's certain categories, are non-exact. If for some bourbons, it just has to have touched oak. You could pour it from the still through an oaken pipe into bottles, and it still counts because some bourbons, like when it's just like it just says bourbon, like and there's no straight or bond or blah blah blah. There's no age requirement. This, because it's Canadian whiskey, by regulation must be at least 3 years old. When you see an age statement on a bottle, or in Canadian or whiskey from pretty much everywhere except like bourbon, if you see no age statement, that's a 3 year or more. If you see an age statement, or if it's a 3 year, that's the age of the youngest whiskey in the bottle. So some 10 years will have even like single malts, right? So if it's Lagavulin 16, that means that the youngest barrel that went into that series of bottles is 16 years old. You could have a 24 in there. They try not to put a 24 in, but you might have some 18 in there as well. Just sort of, because what they do is they take, we're gonna do a 16-year. We always do a 16-year. And so they take all the barrels that are sort of at 16 years, taste them. Some barrels just like, nope, that one's just got to age a whole lot more. So that one doesn't go in. And they start blending these barrels. And sometimes to get to the flavor that they're known for, they start picking other barrels. So you could have some really old whiskeys in a bottle of 16-year-old Lagavulin, or you could not. That's very boring. I don't know why I was even talking about that. I don't know why I was talking about this at all. Why am I talking about whiskey? What happened? I'm looking to see if there was a comment there. I don't know why I was talking about whiskey. Destiny says, unto David, that sounds like fun. Any extreme locations? Yeah, I want to know what's on that list too. Why the hell was I talking about whiskey? Dr. Sharp would like to do a through hike of the Ozark Trail, 250 miles, about 3 weeks. Yeah, that sounds cool. I would love to do a long distance hike for sure. Absolutely. I would love to hike across Iceland. Stop yawning. I believe it was on a Paul Kirtley podcast episode. He said and then questioned himself. Whatever. You can hike across Iceland, but it's not easily done because there aren't trails the whole way. Like you kind of have to go overland and bring a compass, But I would love to walk across Iceland. I would love to walk. We have the world's most extensive national trail here in Canada, right? It used to be called the Trans-Canada Trail. Now, for some reason, I think it's called the Great Trail, the Great Canadian Trail. Something stupid like only Ottawa can market shit, right? Hold on. Trans-Canada Trail. Trans-Canada Trail. I'm looking it up. Okay, so now Trans-Canada Trail is the name of the nonprofit group that raises funds for the continued development of the trail. However, the trail, I don't care. No, it's a cross-Canada system of greenways, waterways, and so how come I thought they changed the name of it to the Great Trail, I think it's called. I'm looking for the information, people. I'm looking. Taking a look. I don't know. I'm sure it's called the Great Trail or something. That still says Sentier Transcanadien. I don't freaking know. Huh. I had thought that they had renamed it to the Great Trail or some damn thing like that. But no. No. But yeah, I love that idea. Especially like around this time of year where it's not too hot, you're not sweating and you don't get swamp ass, you don't get eaten alive by bugs. Love it. Charles says, never thought of it. Okay, just lucky about the design and the construction. Okay, I didn't know that. Like I was wondering if that kind of resiliency is just built into everything they build there, kind of thing. Egyptian pyramids. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'd like to see those for sure. Part of me would have loved. Oh, my land is 2158. I have to get this into the glass. That year in the minute in the glass per year in the cask thing is not as serious when the bottle's been open for a while because it's been oxidizing. It smells so good, so bourbon-like. I do hear that my eldest daughter is still up. Beep beep beam beep beam bam bam bam. Christy says unto Russell, he was slurring words like he was drunk, but he wasn't. And yeah, okay. Get your ass to the hospital for sure. Absolutely. Concrete and concrete blocks. Okay. There was a lot of rain. You met your quota for the year. Fair enough. It's 21:50. Hey, sound off. Who is having a whiskey or a drink with me? Russell, what do you got going? Christy, are you drinking a little thunder chicken or something there? No, you don't. I don't think you have the Wild Turkey 101, right? You were drinking last time. Russell is the one who often has a Grants with him. Christy, what are you having? It's not the white label, is it? The white label bottle? Whatever that's called. Tenenbaum in the house. Tenenbaum, who lives in Sweden, home of the High Coast Berry, which is a bottle I have been desperate to get my hands on for 4 years. And I have not seen it here in that time. But I mean, I know it has been available here because it's not, you can't find it. It's not in stock and has not been in stock for 4 years. I tried the High Coast Timmer, which is great, peated. I need to try that berry for sure. Are you having a drink with us? No, it's really the wrong time of the day for you to have a drink. Zerg. I have no idea. I got nothing. Destiny is asking Dr. Sharp if the Ozark Trail is more challenging than the Appalachian. The Appalachian Trail is a lot longer, though, isn't it? I seem to remember it being really long. Like to through hike it, you have a certain number of months to get it done in to be considered a through hiker, right? But is there something similar like that for the Ozark Trail? Taking off my socks. I'm bringing the comfort in. I should have worn my shorts instead of my jeans. I'm feeling all constrained and shizzle. Yes, you would stay one day in each lake. Jennifer has relatives in LA and Washington, but we'd stay a couple of days in Chicago. We've been in a lot of places over the years in the truck. Nice. I've never been to Chicago. I'd like to see that town one day when the world is calm. David says, we did a trip to Chicago a few years ago. We stayed in Midway and took the commuter train into Chicago. Great city to visit. Garden shears. I think garden shears are those big scissor things, though, aren't they? Pruners. Yeah, that's closer to what I'm. Oh, Russell's saying, "Howdy, Jim." Oh, there he is. How you doing, Jim? You driving home late at night? Late night drive? I do love a late night drive. I don't like falling asleep at the wheel, but driving home after a gig, it's finally quiet. I can put my own like podcast or whatever on. Just when I leave for a gig, I always make a little thermos of tea so that I got some caffeine for the drive home because I have fallen asleep on the road a few times, and I am still alive, which is pure ass luck. Do you like my new table? That's all I'm going to say about that. Pruning shears. Billy shears. My snap. There's a term. Uh-huh. Destiny says the Lee Valley catalog is like the Sears catalog with regards to being iconic. I'm going to order that catalog. I'm going to do it. I probably can't freaking afford it. Right? But oh wow. Veritas has a saw set. I cannot look at this website right now. I'm trying to spend nothing for the next long time. I cannot look at the Lee Valley website right now. Excuse me. It's less traveled. Oh, I see right there. That sounds like magic to me. There are 3 sections of the Ozark Trail: the Ozark Highland Trail and the Wichita Trail. There are plans to connect all 3 someday. Oh, the Ozark Trail, the Ozark Highland Trail, and the Wichita Trail. There are plans to connect all 3 someday. That sounds nice. Love it. Destiny says, big butt rapping by Jess. Okay, the reason I know that is because in the history of my band, people have made some really odd requests. You know, like there's the joke, you know, every band has heard like, play Freebird. But like in a Celtic band, our version of Freebird is Barrett's Privateers. I know most of the Canadians on the call right now probably know exactly what song I'm referring to. Anyways, Barrett's Privateers notwithstanding, over the years, people have asked us for some pretty wild stuff. So what we did was we decided to take all those like requests were like, you know what kind of bar you're in, right? This is an Irish bar. And so we just grabbed them all and just went boom into this like epic 15-minute long medley. Starts with some Queen, goes into we got some Queen in there. There's a little Madonna. There's some Britney. There's that song. There's like Thunderstruck. There's Sweet Child of Mine. There's just like it's a solid 15 minutes of music. And it's all songs that people have asked us and we're like, what are you talking about, man? And so that's why I know that, because that's my part. It comes right after Like a Prayer and right before Faith by George Michael. Steve says, all right, gonna sign off. Multiple naps for sleep again. All right, good night, Steve. Please, for God's sakes, get better soon. Jeez, that's terrible news. There's a couple of people getting ill lately. I mean, ill. I'm making it sound like they're getting the flu, but you know what I'm saying. Um, Destiny says, One day we'd love to extensively probe Lake Superior. It scares the crap out of me. The vibe is so the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down to the lake that they call Gitchigumi. Yeah, absolutely. A storm can roll in on the Great Lakes and just kick your butt, and you wouldn't even know it's coming for sure. And I think of like Bill Mason canoeing on Superior, right? He loved to canoe on Superior, and I'm like, whew, not me. Nope, not me. David learned on their Scotland trip whiskey must be aged at least 3 years before it can be sold, blended, and single malts. Absolutely. In order to be considered whiskey, it must be at least 3 years old. Before that, it's just new make, I guess. Well, new make is when it's made, but yeah, it's not. It cannot be called whiskey until it's at least 3 years old. Same rule in Canada, and like Japan, and Sweden, and Denmark, and the Netherlands, and Israel, and India, and when they were coming up with the rules for Japanese whiskey, because not every bottle from Japan can be called Japanese whiskey, and that's due to rules that they finally came up with just like a few years ago. Before that, Japanese whiskey was the Wild West, man. You could call almost anything Japanese whiskey, and now you can't. But there was pressure to make the age requirement less than 3 years because whiskey tends to age faster in Japan and in India, by the way. But no, they ended up sticking with the 3 years. Yeah, I think Destiny's still talking about storm rolling in on Superior. Dr. Sharp says everybody's getting older and our warranty is running out. It really is. It absolutely is. Yeah. Oh, I was talking about whiskey because it was time to pour. Right. And it is now 10 minutes past the hour of 10. I had asked if anyone else is having a whiskey or a drink with me. Um, I know. I like hiking. Walking is hiking, that sucks. I mean, I like walking too, but I see like walking as something you do to get to the store or, to get a little bit of exercise in, whereas a hike, man, you're looking at vistas. You're breathing good country air. You're away from the town. You're where life is better. I just sort of scrolling down. Yeah, absolutely. Like when you're standing in the area where that song happens, shit gets real, right? Should have made an old fashioned. Destiny, I have not yet made a raspberry syrup, but I will so that we can make that cocktail during a members live stream one night. You saw Stirling Castle, Dunroben Castle, and Kirkwall Castle. There are many castles. Yes, there's a crap ton of castles. I still haven't been there. Even with having family history there, I've never been there. We need more castles around here, I guess. Destiny says Swass is the new swamp ass. Fair enough. Raspberry Rock Castle. Russell's going to build himself a castle out of pillows. That's true. That's true. If Russell, did castle building like my self-reliance did cabin building, he would get so many subs. That would be like something else. A lot of work though. Country Boy's having macalonis. Good choice. I still need to get my hands on a bottle of macalonis. I have heard great things about it. Lord and Lazy Lozon's Castle began construction in 2025, and the rest is history. Yeah. Russell says, I just need a way to cut and move 10-ton stone bricks. Look, where there's a will, there's a way. But I don't think you would need 10-ton bricks. I think the bricks that go into a castle might be like a ton. I guess it depends on the castle. Jim is having Diet Coke until he can get home. What are you planning on having once you get there? I knew Destiny was going to find a way to jack Ray into this conversation. Because she did say. Lord Thunderthighs. Oh, Destiny, you're an unstoppable force of nature. Destiny's like, oh, quit now. And then Russell comes back with, I'll ask Ray. Jim, bucket list, the subway in Tweed. Yikes, Russell says. Unto Destiny. Ray flexed his calves at one point and I felt a breeze. Tenbomb says, for the peanut gallery. Oh, is that the website for the Betty? High Coast Whiskey. I do kind of wish that all these distilleries wouldn't anglicize their names, like wouldn't use English names. You know, like you know that Indian whiskey called Paul John? Now, I don't know why it's named that. It might be named after somebody. But like I don't see why. And I didn't High Coast change its name to High Coast from something in Swedish that kind of meant the same thing, or am I misremembering? Dr. Sharp says, unto Destiny of Fitzgerald, Swamp Ass made me think of a YouTube channel, Big Merla, ruining the classics for her grandmother. What? Excuse me. Excuse me. While I kiss the sky. Big Merla? Big Merla. Rage Against the Machine. Big Merla down with the sickness. Big Merla. Okay, so Big Merla is a thing. Okay, hold on. Let me check this out. She's not big. Oh, I know her. Yeah. I mean, I don't know her, but I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna whip my jeans off on camera. That's a little too gauche even for me. May the Office quitting song. Smells like dirty diaper. 1,000 farts. So if they connect all three sections of that trail, it might be about as long. So, but it's just one section that you're planning, or that you would like to hike, though, right? Or would you like to see them all connected so you can do the whole dang thing? Because 250 miles is shorter than the whole thing for sure. In fact, I think you even mentioned it was the actual Ozark Trail that you want to do, right? Russell asked an important question. If you can't live stream your underwear, what is life? Life is life. Christy says, do not forget to pour your dram. This tells me how late I thought it was at 10:05. I had already poured. I had just poured. Yeah, I know. Sorry, man. I'm just really, really bushed. Zerg. Nobody knows. It's a mystery. What are you drinking, Russell? Destiny asks Dr. Sharp if the Ozark Trail is more challenging than the Appalachian one. Oh, no. Okay, everything just jumped again. Fudge. Oh, my snap. I almost swore. I'm going to swear if this doesn't stop doing that jumping thing. I wonder if I use a different browser, if it would still do that. Whatever. Let me scroll all the way down. Such an epic letdown. Why you got to be like that? App, whatever you're called. What is this called? Streamlabs, Talk Studio. Sorry guys, I gotta find where we was. Where we diggity goddamn was. Oh, I have to scroll past so much. Talk amongst yourselves. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Keep them doggies scrolling. Right. Boom. Okay. I assume you've heard the bluegrass cover of Thunderstruck. Yeah, I sure did. I sure did. And now it's gone back to yes, it would stay one each leg. Why does it keep doing that? Garden shears, Audi, pruners. Hi, Jim. Hi, Billy Shears. Lee Valley catalog is like the Sears catalog with regards to being iconic. I mean, why? Sterling Castle. He's building a castle. Macaroni's for me. 10-ton stone bricks. Ask Ray. I'll ask Ray. Peanut Gallery. Swamp Bass made me think of a YouTube channel. If you're feeling constrained, take the jeans off. The Office quitting song. It's like if you connect all three. Oh, God. Now we're back to if you can't live stream in your underwear. Okay, I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom because I am getting pissed off. Hold on. Tenbon, will you guys play Come On Eileen? Yes, we play it almost every time we play. We absolutely do play it. Mark, do you mean the Steven Seagal's cover? I do not know that cover, so I'm opening it in a new tab. Wait, is that the bluegrass band that does many things, like dressed in a bluegrass way? Hey, there's Austin. How you doing? Austin pinged me recently, actually. Nice to see you. It kind of feels like it's been a minute since you've been on the live stream. Am I getting too far away from my mic? Like, was I sounding a little quiet there, guys? Destiny wishes there was a lighthouse tour of all the lighthouses in Canada. Now that's a preferred vacay. Absolutely magical. That would be cool. That would be expensive though, because some of those Lifehouse is a band I haven't thought of in a long time. Okay, stream of consciousness. Some of those lighthouses are on the East Coast. Some of those lighthouses are on the West Coast. So I'm all like off center here. There we go. That's better. But yeah, that sounds really cool. One of my nieces used to work at a lighthouse on PEI. Mark is telling Tim Bomb that is the one. Yes. I also know that one. Ad. Austin has not watched much since the spring when I was excited to share my plans for canoeing my local river. That came to a screeching halt. Uh-oh. Okay, there's a story here. You got a cut while fishing that turned into an infection. You were on antibiotics for 25 days. Ended up having a piece of reed grass come shooting out of my foot. What the hell's reed grass? I gotta look up reed grass. That sounds terrible, whatever it is. I'm guessing you're not talking about red grass. Okay, no, that's in Africa. Japanese blood grass. Yeah, what the hell? What is red grass? Reed grass. Really soured my summer. Yeah, I could see that. Or do you mean like a piece of a reed? What the hell happened, dude? Like you're talking about reeds, I guess? Because you were. What happened? And are you okay now? I mean, it sounds like you're okay now, but it was 25 days of antibiotics. How was your bloody digestion after all those antibiotics? Right. Yes, Tenenbaum. That's it. They were called box. Yeah. Oh, maybe that's why. Because if there's already Kusten as a beer, then maybe that was in the way. I wonder why they changed the name from box. I mean, that's kind of got a cool edgy sound to it. Although the labels do not look edgy at all. I know I get it wrong. It's because you did have grants at one point, and I keep sort of going back to that. I know it's not grants anymore. Yeah, because they're near the high coast, aren't they? The distillery? It's right there, isn't it? Okay, the three. Yeah. Anyways, it sounds cool, even if you're just doing the 250 miles. I do wish I knew what 250 miles was, though. Is it 2 clicks to the mile, or is it? Yes, right, because it's 2 pounds to the kilo. Context is key when you make that kind of statement. There's the Wikipedia page for the high coast. Connecting all three would add a lot of distance. Sound was fun. Okay, that's good to know. It's really weird. What happens is every now and again it just reloads like a third of the conversation from earlier in the night. So yes, it's definitely a refresh rate thing, but it's a really awful one. Grass is not blue. Well, some grass is blue, the musical kind. Reed, yeah, okay. It took me a moment, but I would love to know what the hell happened there. Or maybe I kind of don't want to know. I don't know. Okay. All right. Dr. Sharp. I know the Dorina Harvey band. Her guitarist Scott and I have done whiskey videos together, and we've sent each other samples. And when I'm in Alberta, we hang out. And so I've known the Dorina Harvey band for about 10 years now. The first time we went to do the festival gig in Alberta, because they're Newfoundlanders, but they live. Okay, one of them's from New Brunswick. Their current fiddler Jess. But they live in Edmonton. The band is based in Edmonton. They all live in Edmonton. All. The vast majority of them live in Edmonton. One of them might be in Calgary, but they're a touring band, so it kind of doesn't matter. So it's our first time playing this festival. We're complete unknowns. We've arrived. I'm walking towards my room, and um, this woman sort of is just sort of walking to her room, or like everyone's arriving, so like everyone's unpacking and walking, and you know, since we're passing each other on this balcony, it's kind of like a motel thing where the band stay, and you sort of said, hi, and just I think she sort of like she's really, really personable. So I think she's sort of saying, who are you here with? Or, hi, who are you? Haven't seen you at this event before. And say, hi, I'm Jess. I'm with Squidjigger. We're from Montreal. And she says, I'm with the Darina Harvey band. And it's really hard to, because I hang around with a lot of musicians, and some of them are like the Gallaghers, right? Do you know what I'm saying? And some of them are not. And she didn't say, I'm Darina Harvey, right? Like they were the biggest band there. At that point, in the festival's existence, there were always like these the two top bands that were there every year were the Darina Harvey band and Cod Gone Wild. And there's always this little bit of like rivalry because they were sort of the two big touring bands. I feel in hindsight that the rivalry almost all came from the other band. The other band has since broken up. There's a whole personalities thing there that unfortunately shattered that band. But I will always love Darina Harvey for the fact that she introduced herself that way rather than I'm Darina Harvey. For two reasons. A, that's refreshing. B, it's really indicative of who the hell she is. There ain't no one nicer than her on this green earth. No one. And her entire band are just really nice, really down to earth, fucking great at their instruments and touring all the time. Canada, the States and stuff. But they're Newfoundlanders, right? So it doesn't go to their heads. But yes, I do know that song. I've heard it many, many times. And in fact, so this year they weren't at the festival that we were at because while we were out there, they were finally playing a show in Quebec, near Quebec City at the Festival the Mariniers, the Marine, or whatever, the Mariners Festival. I'm stumbling over my words here. And I was pissed that they were finally in Quebec while I wasn't, because if they had arrived here while I was here, I would have packed my family up and gone. Absolutely, because I want my kids to dance in front of that band. But what I did do when I saw what they were playing was I pinged Scott and I said, okay, I got buddies who are playing that festival. This guy, fabulous and friendly. This guy, great. And I made sure that they all met each other. And so second to last night where no, late on the first night that we were at the festival, we were at the pub night section of it. Might have been the second night anyways. I get this picture of Darina and like half her band and all my buds. I was like, yes, they met each other and they hung out. And I wasn't there for that. So yeah, I know the Darina Harvey band. I know that last shanty. The last shanty is a song that we all play up here anyway. I don't know if it's played as much down there, but yeah. 1.6 to the mile. Yeah, so that's a good long hike for sure. Peanut Trucker's been all over Kentucky. Oh, for God's sakes. My mouse is just clicking and clicking. It's about 400 clicks. Okay. That's a good long walk. For sure. Russell wants to talk about con before this is over. Yeah, we should set up a con night. I don't have the kind of throughput that we need for that, though. I think Al said he did. I think. Gone. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I just want to check one little thing. Just one little thing. I feel that I may have made a tactical error in the name I came up with for my whiskey channel. Because whenever I search for it without trying to, like, change my account and, blah, blah, all I ever find is dribs and drabs, because that's a very common saying. But I thought I was being hilarious by calling my channel Dribs and Drams. And it has just been it's just nothing but a nightmare. Because I wanted to show you, like, one of the videos I did with Scott from the Drina Harvey Band. But I'm having a hard time finding it. Oh, well, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Raspberry Rock got his gigabit working so he can host. Yeah, that sounds good. Guess not a Tuesday night. Maybe a Wednesday? What do you think? Wednesday, Thursday? Wednesday or Thursday, maybe? He said redundantly. Let me open up another browser. YouTubeage. This is stupid. Why am I doing this? Why am I boring you guys by not looking at the right screen? I know why. I do know why. I'm not doing it. Whatever. I was going to try to find one of those videos, but I'm going to get lost in trying to do this. Can we do... Oh, piss. Can we do a Friday or a Saturday? You said the first week of November? Let me check the brain book. Oh, I lost my... Hold on, let me put that back in there. My little bookmark. The mark of bookage. I could actually check this later while I'm not trying to run a live stream. Could maybe do that. I could maybe do that. Probably not the Friday, the first week of November, because that Friday is the 31st, which is Halloween, which is when my kids howl. But I believe the first is the day after. Shut up. Maybe. Could do that. Yeah, it's not going to matter because it's after dark, so that's fine. More than a feeling on a floating sauna. Sauna. Oh, like the 7th or 8th. Let me check my account. No, let's do this later because I'm just gonna get sucked into looking up calendars and stuff. But let me check. Jess, don't forget Florida, December 7th. Write it down. Florida, December 7th. Why am I writing down Florida, December 7th? I can't go to Florida. I'm serious when I tell you I will never get across the border due to things I have said of late. So there's no way I can get down, but I'm going to write down Florida December 7th anyway, because I have completely forgotten why. But Destiny will probably remind me. She remembers everything. That woman's amazing. December 7th. Sunday. Florida. I'm writing it in, but I don't remember why. I think you want David to write it down, because doesn't he go down to Florida? Or is it because you and David are going to take photos and send me photos and stuff like that? And Destiny 2, add it to the book. Okay, everyone add it to the damn book. David wants to do November 7th for Con. Okay, I have to check my iCal, even though we're boring everyone else in the live stream. Why you guys gotta be like this, leading me down this road? Where's my iCal? November the 7th. I shall check. I do believe I'm free on November the 7th. I'm looking at my gigs are the 21st and 22nd. So is November 7th con night then? Russell, check with Al. And if November 7th is a go, I'll write it down. So December 7th is your big cookout. I'm seeing. Right. That would be nice. They'll never let me across the border. I have torched that guy in Washington publicly way too often. I got to do a little refill. Yes. Okay. I was like, got to do a little refill. And then I was like, wait, is there still time left on this live stream, Ash? I said, I'm blinded by the light. I see a problem here. I'll drink it very, very quickly. I haven't been to a big barbecue cookout in a long ass time. Last time I went to a cookout, we were in New York City, seeing all the, I don't know, cousin-in-laws, aunt and uncle-in-laws. The vast majority of the missuses, the vast majority of the missus' family is either back in Haiti or like Florida, New York. I've told you guys before that like the Haitian diaspora is like Miami, New York City, Montreal. I mean, that's where the diaspora, I mean, obviously some in Paris, of course, because the whole francophonie sends their people to Paris. But I mean, the biggest of, the vast majority of the Haitian diaspora is Miami, New York, Montreal. So the missus got a lot of family down there. And man, so it was somebody's birthday or graduation or some damn thing. And so they were having a party for her. I think she was graduating and it was her birthday, graduating high school or Cégep. No, they don't do Cégep in the States or something, graduating something, maybe marketing school. I don't know what the hell. And her birthday, it couldn't have been high school because she was older than that. She was like, I have no recollection. Anyways, so the theme of the party was white. And everyone at that party was utterly gorgeous. And the contrast between like these beautiful black faces and this stark white clothing was at night with like these colored lights happening was spectacular. But the food, forget about everything else, but the food, oh my snap, you have not eaten until you've had a Haitian cookout. Let me tell you, and I will tell you twice just to make sure it gets through. I still think about the food. I mean, we eat a lot of Haitian food for obvious reasons because it's delicious. But like when Cody when we had her naming ceremony way back when she was like this big, we did a whole Haitian spread, and like the missus and her mom were making like Haitian mac and cheese, and her dad brought a goat. Like, he said, I'm gonna bring goat. We're great. But like the size of the pot was like bump. He had this ginormous pot, and it was like a cut up. It wasn't just like, it wasn't a carcass. So much good food. Damn, so much good food. Fortunately, they're surrounded by water. Tenenbaum's always got his eyes on the prize. I could use some cheese. Stay on track, for God's sakes. I have an open invite when they'll let me back in. Okay, great. Good to know. You fire up the barbecue. I'll bring some Canadian whiskey. Oh no, that'd be a waste. I'll bring some Canadian pop, like some Canadian ginger ale. That's not Canada Dry. It's actual Canadian ginger ale, or some. In Quebec, they make a maple Coke. Coca-Cola makes a maple Coke with Quebec maple syrup, and they also do. Is it BC blueberry or something? No, that doesn't make sense. But yes, maybe I'll bring that. I'll bring something non-alcoholic that's still delicious. And sugar pie, des tartes au sucre. It's like a Quebec, like it's a cultural imperative to have sugar pie. Or Dave could go there. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. Oh yeah, I can bring apple crisp. I'm gonna have apple crisp when we're done here. I mean, I made 2 of them, for God's sakes. I was gonna bring one to work, but like I don't have the car this week, so, and I don't want to. The bus I have to take, both buses to get to work. I have to take a bus to the metro, and then I have to take the metro to the end of the line, and then I have to take another bus. It's awful. During rush hour, it's awful. And I'm not trying to balance a freaking apple crisp to get it to work to share with the people. The people. The people. Do I have any more tea? Yes, I do. Because it is a good drink. Wow, that is weird after a glass of bourbon, quote unquote. Whoop, let me do that. Boom, boom. I don't know. I never told you guys what I would see as like an ideal vacation. Russell, I'm imagining your ideal vacation is sitting on a porch next to a beaver pond. No, you guys have traveled. You like to go down south, right? You like to go to the Caribbean and stuff like that. You gone on some cruises. Peanut Trucker says, riding the bus, you do not have to deal with the traffic. That is true. Okay, but here's the thing. I got to get comfy again, or as comfy as I can get in these jeans. What I've done, because yeah, sometimes I used to like practically have a coronary over the traffic, more specifically after work than on my way to work. Sometimes it's rough on my way to work, but I can usually get there within 45 minutes. Technically, you could be from my house to work in 20 minutes, but not during rush hour. That's for damn sure. On the way home, though, sometimes it can really like it can just go. And I used to be like, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. And I finally I decided I'm gonna die of a heart attack one of these days if I don't recast the experience. And so I just made the decision in my mind that my drive home is some of the me time that I so desperately seek. So I put on a podcast and I just zen all the way out until the point where I see like I don't think I'm gonna make it in time to pick up the squeak. And then I start sort of calling, Cody, can you go get your sister kind of thing. But just because otherwise I was gonna keel over, you know? I was just getting so angry at the traffic. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Dr. Sharp. Sleep well. And maybe you'll see you next week. Raspberry Rock says their go-to vacation is Antigua. Wonderful place. They speak English. No high pressure sales shit. As soon as you step off the resort, everyone is super friendly. Everyone is laid back. Never been to Antigua. I've been to Jamaica. Didn't leave the resort very often though. We left once. You go to a place that is a private beach, which is awesome. We can sail the Hobie every day. Tenenbaum says Antigua is my favorite of the places I've been in the Caribbean. I've only ever been to one place in the Caribbean, and it's Jamaica. Not gonna go to Haiti right now. Russell did a sailing vacation out of St. Vincent once. We visited a bunch of islands. It was off season. Visited some awesome places. Only get there by boat. That sounds amazing. Because I love to sail. I've never sailed on the ocean though. I've been on a catamaran on the ocean, but they didn't have the sails out. They had the engine on. I was like, Antigua. This looks to me like Christy is out. We still got 11 minutes, Christy. What the hell are you doing? And you never told me what you were drinking tonight. You're hurting my feelings. David says, I need to go to the Wizards to drop something off. Want to meet for lunch Tuesday at Subway. Man, I wish I was close enough to anyone I knew from YouTube to do that. Okay, everyone's saying good night to Christy, so I'm guessing that, yeah, she's out. Everyone's saying good night to Christy. Russell says, oh, dude, when we sailed from St. Vincent and Grenadines south, we were facing open ocean from the east. Big swells coming in. It was an experience. Yeah, I'd like to have that experience one day. Because I mean, I've only really crewed on a well, I would not want to crew on my first Caribbean or ocean sailing experience. Or maybe I would. I mean, it's better to have something to do than to just sit there clutching your pearls at the bow and hope you don't die. Christy's having bourbon. Oh, Christy is still here. Oh, you thought I said goodnight. Did I say goodnight? No, I was saying goodnight to okay, we've established that there was a little misunderstanding here. Okay. We're just gonna move right along. We're just gonna move right on. Just gonna have another sip of my bourbon analog. You have a sip of your bourbon. We'll do a little cheers. I drink to Steve's health. Our sailing vacation was you and Country Girl and a sailing master. He was there to teach us and make sure nothing got fucked up. That's the way to go. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds cool to me. Russell says, unto David, he needs to join the Discord again. So, no, it's gone. I don't know what the hell I was about to say. You know what pisses me off about my computer? Not this computer, about my PC that I only use for gaming, is that late at night, if I'm in the middle of playing a game, after a certain amount of time, it it just sort of randomly shuts down. And I realized it's because the cores of the CPU. Why am I talking about this? Whatever. I'll be really fast. The cores of the CPU like crank all the way up to like 98, 100 degrees. And so I guess it overheats and shuts down. So I'm guessing I need new thermal paste because I need to redo the thermal paste or something. Like I blew air into the fans and everything. But it's like, why don't they just work? You know? Now I got to buy some thermal paste. Yeah, I guess I'll buy it at like Newegg or some damn thing. On the sailing vacation, we spent a few nights lying on the bow, watching the stars, having a few drinks. That sounds fabulous. Was it a clear night? You could see every star. Milky Way was a roiling mass of clouds rather than a pale streak across the sky. Maybe a new fan. You think maybe my fan has gone? Has gone? I'm gonna think about it because I mean it was really cranking up there. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll put in a water cooling system. I do not have the money for anything other than just replacing a fan. Maybe I need like a second fan in there. What I should do is put the computer up on the desk and run it and see if the fan is turning. Because if the fan ain't turning, clearly I need a new fan, right? Or should I just replace it just out of hand? I mean, how much is a new fan? I shall think upon this. Upon this, I shall think. But I don't want to spend our last 6 minutes boring everyone with my PC talk. But maybe I'll check out the Newegg, see what the prices are for like a new fan. No, I will not pour another whiskey. I will have this tea instead. I'll order a new fan and some new thermal paste, and I'll do them both. Because it's entirely possible that a friend of mine had said, well, maybe your thermal paste is degraded. Maybe you got to replace that. I didn't even know that was a thing. He said, surreptitiously going to newegg.ca and totally blew the spelling. That's not the site I was looking for. 16th anniversary sale. I'm going to get my shit for free. Did I just miss something? Hold on. Tenenbaum is agreeing that I need better cooling. David Evans needs a new Discord name. Maybe Dusty Bed Springs. Russell says his GPU is running at 43C right now. Get some bubble foil. Really? Russell asks, what is my GPU running at right now? Tell you what, Russell, if you want to stick around right after the live stream, I'll boot up my PC and I'll let you know. Because I think generally if I don't put the game on, it runs around that. Well, I don't know if it's because the CPU is just giving her because I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3, or if I was just doing word processing or whatever, like heat would be building up to that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Hold on. I'll give you I'll find out how to. I'll send you this link, and right after the stream, I'll just leave it open, and you can pop in, and we can take a look. I almost gave the invite to the wrong person. We're at 22:57, people. We're almost out of here. Does anyone want to bring up anything else before we shut her down for the night? Con. Yeah, I think we should definitely do a con night for sure. But I don't think my GPU is the problem. My GPU doesn't seem to be running too heavy. I think it's the CPU, because the CPU is the one that's getting hot. Feeling hot. Yes. Yeah. Let's meet on Discord, because you're right. Because of the way this app is set up, and once I hit end, it yeah, forget about it. Yeah, forget about it. We're at 22:58, so let's start. Yeah. So, Tenenbaum, what we one night, Russell. For God's sakes, I'm trying to snap. There we go. Yes. One night, Russell and I watched The Wrath of Khan over Discord. I believe I rented it and I was playing it. It was imperfect, but we'd like to do another Khan watching night on the Discord. And Al, the man on the street, he has like gigabit Ethernet, which I do not have. So I think that's what we're going to try to do. Destiny's out. Thank you, everyone, for the fellowship. Take care, and see y'all next live. Russell, after we're done here, I will boot up my PC and then ping you through Discord on the PC on Windows rather than Mac OS. Mark is out. Good night, Mr. Mark. Have yourself a good night. Yeah, Wrath of Khan is something else, man. Yeah, it's a flawed masterpiece. Country Boy saying good night. Okay, so let's just shut her down here. Thanks for everyone for hanging out with me. I think that Russell, are we going to try to let me bring you on screen just long enough for you to say peace soup, okay?
Peace soup.
Can't hear you.
Peace.
So I'm gonna have Russell on. I'm gonna shut her down and see if he gets kicked off or if he can stay on. So to everyone else, I'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you for hanging out with me. To the Canadians, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. To the Americans, I mean, it's coming right next month. So between now and next week, everybody, please. I'm gonna try not to say stay sober. Everybody, please stay healthy, stay safe, stay sane, and be kind to one another. See, I can get it out.